Hello, my spooky pickles. I know I look like a potato today. I'm not filming this on TikTok, so I can't use a filter right now because I might ramble for this video. Also, I just don't have the time or energy, or I don't really want to do makeup today because I'm just not feeling it. Felt a bit low energy last night, so I've done a bit of meditating and working on my practice today, and I have work later, so if I wanted time to film the video, I didn't really have time to do makeup as well. So you just have to deal with this beautiful face. Sorry. But I wanted to do this video for a while, and I want to get it done because it's in my head, and I just find it interesting, so hopefully you do too. We're talking about haunted places today. It's not one specific building, just more the topic of why are certain places more haunted or feel more haunted than others. So like theatres, hospitals, churches, cathedrals, that kind of thing. So I have my notes in my big book. So obviously the main places you think of when you think of a haunted buildings, maybe a castle or a theatre, a cathedral, because also they've got like the big gargoyles and it's like a big stone building. They can look quite imposing. So, some of the reasons I have written down for you all today, my spooky lovely pickles, are suggestion and expectation. So, if it's like a well-known building, or at least a well-known building in your area, or that you've heard a lot about, there's already an expectation there because you've been told it's haunted, or it's had this or that experience, or this person felt that, or experienced this, or if it depends on the building, it might actually have been on a TV channel or in history books and is said to have been haunted. So there's already an expectation and heavy suggestion there. So even if it isn't, I mean, usually they are if lots of people have felt something, but there's already the expectation and heavily suggested. It's in your head. It's heavily suggested. So every little thing you're going to attribute that to a paranormal experience, even if it was more normal. But places like that usually are if there's like lots of like lore around the building. So yeah, also the history, like I said, if it's in a history book, like if you're going on holiday and touring in Oak Castle and it's got a lot of history, it probably is. And that's to do with some of the things that I'll get onto in a minute. The architecture. So I find this very interesting because I was looking into it. This is where I have the notes. So old or low lighting, like the old yellow lighting or really bad lighting, can affect the feeling of, or the presence of, like a different energy, a creepier energy, a more paranormal feel to it. Also a confusing layout or maze-like set out or layout. So like in a lot of older estate homes or castles even, that can help with the spooky vibe, so because a lot do have like the big hedge mazes. Also the layout inside, if it feels like you're going around in circles or you're getting turned around on yourself a lot, that creates a sense of unease inside yourself. So somewhere it's a very confusing layout where it's like makes no sense, like those really old buildings that you have to go down these steps and around this corridor and then there's a little step up and round and down. It's very confusing and feels a bit like you're in a maze, and that can already give you a feeling of unease or a bit of anxiety because you don't really know where you are. You feel a bit turned around, you don't know what's what. And that accompanied with like old lighting or flickering lights because it's old, or those really old like yellowy lights where it still feels a bit dim, it can feel a bit more ominous. So that's one of the reasons as well. Low frequency sounds. So depending on where the building's set, because it might not specifically be music playing, like sometimes they might, but if it's somewhere that is surrounded by certain frequencies, like certain towers or certain buildings or ley lines even, it emits a frequency, and certain low level frequencies can actually cause a sense of fear and dread inside you. And it doesn't even have to be audible, but your body and your nervous system will feel it and pick it up. So that can affect the haunted feel or presence in certain buildings. Another one, which is quite scary, so always monitor your boilers, guys, because CO2. you can get poisoning from CO2 if you don't get your boilers checked properly, and there's some sort of leak or issue with that. It can cause hallucinations. It can make you really, really sick. It can kill you. So that is a reason, and also a very real world reason that you do actually need to be concerned about and check in, because it's a big deal. So always get your boilers checked, guys. Don't miss the routine when you get the letter. It's time to get your boiler checked. Always make sure it's checked. Yeah, gas safety check, all that, because it's very important. I'm not going to harp on about that any longer. Next one is black mold. So again, a very real worldy issue. I know some houses are more prone to getting them, especially in this time of year, because it's damp, it's cold, and then say in your bathroom it's damp and it's cold, and then you have a shower and there's all this steam, so that can create mold and black mold. That's not good for you. That can cause a sense of haunting sense, because it can affect your senses. It can actually make you quite sick. So make sure if that's an issue for you, you get that sorted and get it cleaned professionally or properly, because it releases spores as you clean it. So please be careful, guys. Very serious feeling today. I actually didn't realise that it was going to sound so serious. History or battle site. So obviously, like if it is an old castle, just the easiest example I can think of right now. If you're visiting a specific castle where you know there was lots of old battles or skirmishes and things like that, it is going to have a more haunted, spooky vibe, because of the history of it. Also, it's to do with my next point, which is emotional residue. It is going to hold a lot, because there's a lot of highly charged emotions there. A battle, there's a lot of emotions. There's fear, there's dread, there's anticipation. Some strange people, probably excitement, because some people get off on that. Adrenaline. All this is going to be, it leaves a residue. It leaves like a mark on a place, and you can still feel that if it's strong enough, or it's been imprinted long enough into the earth or the building, you will feel it as you're going through it or exploring or whatever. Also, which is why I do believe, because I've been to many theatres and I've worked in many theatres for different reasons, but I do think theatres are haunted. Some more than others, but because there is a lot of emotional residue. Also, something called the stone tape theory, which is, it's similar to emotional residue, but it's, I can't remember the guy's name. I should have wrote it down, but my brain. He theorised that words, the energy of words don't die. It just lingers, and it can be absorbed by the atmosphere or the building. So obviously theatres have a lot of emotion. The actors are emoting different characters. There's lots of words being said. There's also lots of reaction from the audience. So there's a lot of emotion from the actors and the audience, whether that's sadness because it's like a play and it's a little bit of a, what's the word? Forgot the word for it. But like a sad play. Or maybe it's like about a historical event that's traumatic. I'm trying not to say certain words so I don't, the video will upload. Or if it's a comedy even, there's lots of laughter, there's lots of high energy, there's lots of laughing, there's lots of silliness, there's lots of shouting to and fro, because sometimes, like especially pantomimes, there's lots of energy from the crowd shouting back and forth, and there's laughing, and it's high energy. So there's a lot of different energy being soaked up by that building, emotional residue, and the stone tape theory, because all these words are being said, all this laughter is being had, and that can actually cause like an energy for the building. So that, along with the structure of the building, if it's a bit maze like, what one of the theatres I worked in was a very confusing layout, so that didn't help the spooky creepy feeling, as well as the way the lights worked there. It was very odd, and all the emotional residue, and like I said, the stone tape theory of all the words that have been said that cause and create a vibration in the building, and a feeling within you, like a resonance. That can all contribute to it giving off a haunted, spooky, paranormal vibe. Also, because of all these energies, like places like castles that have had battles, or theatres that have had lots of different big emotions on different days and times by lots of different people, and that can include hospitals, more on the sad end, usually hospitals. But because that energy and residue is there, it is also sort of like a like a beacon for spirits. Like, it's very easy for someone that might not have crossed over to see, because it's so much energy there. It's like a battery, so it's like a big flashing neon sign for spirits, whereas some other places might not be as visible or easy to spot. So if a spirit's looking for somewhere to get energy or just linger about because they're not ready to move on for whatever reason, a theatre would be the perfect place. There's lots of energy, there's lots of people coming and going, there's lots of ways that they can recharge there and feel comfortable there, for lack of a better word or explanation. Like, it stands out more, so they're more drawn to that space because there's so much energy there, so much for them to draw off, so much for them to do. And also, like, some spirits are just nosy, they like to watch. It's a perfect place. Also, depending on the spirit and the vibration of the spirit and whether or not they're ready to move on. Hospitals, because there's a lot of lower energy there, you know, there's people that are ill and sadly that do pass on there. I'm trying not to say certain words because, you know, the TikTok gods and all that. But that can bring in more low frequency spirits. But again, that's like a big flashing light, like a big lighthouse for them to spot and be like, oh, well, I can get my energy from here because there's lots to feed on. Same with the castle, like I said, if there've been a lot of battles there, or you know, if there've been lots of banquets there, there's a lot of residual energy, things like that. So all of these actual real world reasons, as well as the fact that these real world reasons can be a beacon to spirits to actually then they actually do become haunted, as well as not just feel haunted. So that's my findings and my opinion and my conclusions of certain places, certain buildings, that why they are more haunted, why they have more of a paranormal feel, why you just get certain vibes, like good or bad vibes from certain places because the residual energy, the stone tape theory about, you know, the words being spoken and the energy of them still linger, as well as all that attracting spirits to the place that can then actually also affect the vibe and the mood and the frequency of the actual building or place. I hope that all made sense to you, my lovely spooky pickles. Blooming awful today. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I subjected you to this, but I hope you find the video interesting enough to have put up with this today. Some days I'm in the mood to really do lots of makeup. Some days I'll use a filter, and some days I just want to film the video and I don't have time to play with my makeup and my hair pieces and whatever. So yeah, I hope you just enjoyed the video and the research I did and my opinions on it and the way I presented it. Hopefully you did enjoy that, because I work really hard on any research video that I do, that I have to give my opinion but also present some facts. It does take me longer than people think. And I do write everything down, as I'm sure you see me refer to my notes, and some things I forget because I get excited. But I really do hope you're enjoying them. If there's anything you do want me to cover specifically, or a specific haunted place, building, folklore tale, Brothers Grimm tale, you want my spin on it or my thoughts on it, me to research the origins of it, let me know. If not, I'll just keep releasing what I want as I want and hope you're all enjoying it. Try not to let this finish on 30 minutes because the number freaks me out. I'm sorry. Yeah, have a great day, my lovely spooky pickles. I shall be doing my glimmers again soon, so God knows when you're seeing this video, but a glimmers video will be coming as well soon. Enjoy your week, enjoy your day. I'll see you all soon, my spooky pickles.